Growing up, I predominantly lived with my dad after my parents divorced, and I'll give him credit. He did the best he could to take care of me. But finances weren't his strong suit, and because of that, we never really took any family vacations. Sure, I can remember going to baseball games with him, but we never took any of those beach family vacations, and we never hopped on a plane to go to some tropical paradise. And that's why family vacations are so special to me and to my wife. You know, we love that experience. We love that adventure of just going someplace new as a family. But for those of you that have kids, like, you know how expensive it is to travel. It doesn't matter where we're going or how long. Like, we know when we travel, we're going to spend a good chunk of money. On any trip, you have to account for gas, for lodging, and especially food. Especially food, because I love to eat. So anytime that we are traveling, like, you bet that we are trying a new restaurant, experiencing some sort of new food, because that's all about the experience, especially for me. That's one of the benefits of being a financial planner and having that financial planning background, is that I have been conscious of our money situation. But I have to admit that my focus has always been much more on the earning side of things, not so much focused on the savings and the budgeting part. But that's where my wife, Mandy, comes into play, because that has been her focus. And if I'm being honest, she's the real reason that we're not broke and that we have money in our checking account. Let's face it, I like to spend money on the finer things in life, and that's why we are a perfect match. Thankfully, knowing this about myself and recognizing that my dad struggled with debt, I was very sensitive not to incur any more debt after graduating college. In fact, I already racked up $30,000 of debt while I was still in school. Not to mention the fact that my now wife, made it abundantly clear that she had no desire to marry somebody with a lot of debt, or did she want to help pay off any of that debt after we got married. She made it very clear. Once we got our spending and our budgeting in check, that's when I started to see the value of credit card rewards. Now, prior to that, as I already mentioned, I was very leery of reward points just because I didn't want to fall back into that debt trap. But once we started to educate ourselves and see how we could incorporate that into our already spending plan, it just made sense. Money is something that we talk about often, and we want to make sure that we are maximizing these credit card rewards. So anytime that we're talking about savings and budgeting and things that we want to buy, the only way that we can get full value out of these points is having those important money talks. One of the cards I think that you should check out is the GM BuyPower Card by Capital One. It's a rewards credit card that lets you redeem earnings towards the purchase of a new vehicle within the GM family. This includes Chevy, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac. We all want more family adventures and vacations, right? And I've already talked about how expensive it is to travel, but factor in if you are taking flights, having to fly your family to your next vacation. That is so expensive. So think about how much you could save that instead of flying, you were driving a new vehicle. The possibilities are endless. The good news is GM and Capital One just announced that card members can redeem earnings towards statement credits for qualifying in-dealership purchases on a range of GM extras, which can help in the process of keeping your family road trip vehicle ready for adventure. But first, let's break down what is the GM BuyPower Card. According to a recent Capital One survey, 87% of people looking to purchase a car in the next 3 years are looking to buy a car as opposed to leasing, with 74% of them saying that they're going to buy it from a dealership. Many people are going to go out and buy a brand new car, so why not use their credit card and rack up those earnings so that you can save on a new GM vehicle. So how does the card work? Well, first, you can earn 5% on your first $5,000 in purchases each year, plus 2% unlimited earnings after that. And here's a sweet little detail. Earnings never expire, provided that you keep the card open. Also, there is no annual fee. You can rack up earnings on everything you buy, including groceries, gas, and your regular monthly bills. And we know how fast purchases can add up, especially if you have a household that has multiple kids like ours. And if this wasn't a great deal already, the GM BuyPower Card has taken things to the next level. Card members now have the option to redeem their earnings towards statement credits up to $250 per calendar year on qualifying purchases such as most OnStar and connective service plans. It also applies to in-dealership purchases of vehicle accessories such as bed liners for pickups, bike racks, all-weather floor mats and wheels, scheduled maintenance such as oil changes, tire rotations, battery replacement, mechanical repairs. If those don't sound like essential family road trip functions, then I don't know what does. We recently just got back from another family road trip where we headed down to Seaside, Florida. We went down there with some neighbors and some friends of ours, and we just enjoyed chilling by the pool, going to the beach, and just making family memories that I know are going to last a lifetime. And the best part is that we got there in our GMC Yukon. We had that time together to just enjoy each other as a family. And the best part is we got to travel all together in our GMC Yukon, just making more family adventures all in that car on that road trip together. Once again, if you're already using a credit card for convenience and you're in the market for a new GM vehicle, or you just want to keep up with the one you have, then I highly encourage you to check out and apply for the GM BuyPower Card by Capital One, because your next family adventure awaits.